Acid-base reactions, or what we sometimes call neutralization reactions, occur when an acid reacts with a base. We call it a neutralization reaction because when the acid and base react, they kind of cancel each other out, and we end up with a solution that has a neutral pH. If we look at the general format, we see that we have the acid reacting with the base, and that's going to form what we call a salt. A salt is just a generic word that we use for an ionic compound. The other product is always going to be water. When we are forming that salt, it is made from the cation of your base. Remember, the cation is the positively charged metal ion from your base. Normally, it's the first part in the formula. And the anion of your acid. The anion is going to be everything after the H for your acid. Take a look at a couple of examples. So our first one, we're going to do the reaction between HCl and NaOH. So we know that our reactants are just going to be those two formulas. Now we need to figure out which one is the acid and which one is the base. Well, we know that acids always start with H, so in this case, the HCl is going to be the acid. And we know that bases, for the most part, always end in OH. So that means that the NaOH is going to be the base. So now that we know which one is which, we can go ahead and form our salt. So remember, the salt is going to be from the cation of the base. The cation is going to be your positively charged metal, so sodium. And the anion of your acid, which is everything after the H, in this case, chlorine. Since it's forming an ionic compound, we want to do our crisscross. So we know sodium is +1, chlorine is -1. So we'll crisscross our charges to get our formula. And so that's going to give me a formula of NaCl as my first product. And then the other product is always going to just be water. Okay, so now we'll take a look at our next one. So this time we have calcium hydroxide and sulfuric acid. So we will take a look at those. Okay, so this time our acid, again, always starts with H. So that's going to be that one. Our base always ends in OH. Okay, so let's go ahead and write our formula for our salt. So we're going to take the first part of the base, which is the calcium, and then the second part of the acid, which is everything after the H, so SO4. Calcium is +2, sulfate is -2. Crisscrossing over, we get a 2-to-2 ratio that can reduce down to 1-to-1. So my products for this reaction are going to be calcium sulfate and water.